Picture this, a cat that doesn't just chase mice, but bites through skulls, dragging caimans out of rivers like it's nothing. That's right, you clicked to see the jaguar, America's top predator, in action, and I'm delivering. You might think lions or tigers rule the wild, but the jaguar's bite says otherwise. Let's dive into how this cat takes down everything from caimans to tapirs with raw power and skill. This cat is a total killing machine. Leaping into the water after a massive reptile is just another day for it. It might not always have an audience, but this beast is built for water combat. It can hold its breath a very long, dive deep, and not choke even with its jaws wide open. It takes on a 6-foot caiman in the reptile's own turf, a place that seems to favor the enemy more than the jaguar. But this cat has the strongest bite of any big cat out there, stronger than a lion or tiger. In the water, it moves like a crocodile, going toe-to-toe with these scaly giants. It hauls huge caimans and even anacondas right out of rivers. Long, sharp fangs aren't rare for a cat, but the jaguars pack an insane amount of force. They're designed to punch through the tough, bumpy, bone-plated skin of a crocodile. You can see it perfectly in this killer footage. The jaguar grabs the caiman right where it counts, at the spot where the skull meets the spinal cord. It snatches a full-grown caiman from the riverbank, like it's a toy, ignoring the fact that the reptile's got jaws just as powerful. At that moment, those jaws don't stand a chance. The jaguar's fangs are likely already sunk into the skull, and if not, they'll pierce the brain any second, shutting down the caiman's spine for good. Here's another wild example of how slick this predator is with caimans. It dives into murky water and vanishes beneath the surface for a while. This time, the caiman's smaller, but the water's deep and cloudy as heck. The jaguar grabs its prey however it can, by the tail, the leg, anything to stop it from escaping and drag it out. Finally, it locks onto the caiman's throat, a weak spot just as deadly as the head or neck. After a long chokehold, the reptile looks dead. Time to pull it to shore. But wait, it's not dead yet. With its last bit of fight, it resists, until the jaguar sinks its fangs into the neck and ends it for real. These insane jaguar-on-caiman attacks get caught on camera in the wild pretty often. With some luck, even tourists can witness them. The easiest and safest way to explore the jungle is by boat. And guess what? That's right where these epic riverbank battles go down. Over the water, jaguars have other favorite targets, capybaras. Sinking their jaws into a neck or throat is no big deal here, since these animals have soft skin covered in fur. The real trick is catching them. Capybaras are fast, nimble rodents that stick together in groups. Their tight-knit crew has noses tuned to sniff out predators, sharp eyes, and alert ears, so the tiniest rustle can send them running. But the jaguar's got a plan. Like any cat, it's got soft pads on its feet, and sneaking, stalking, and freezing in place is in its DNA. Capybaras and caimans top the list of its kills, but that's just the start of its menu. The jaguar has one rule: it only eats fresh meat. It doesn't matter at all where the meat comes from. This cat rules as the top predator in its part of the world. In Central and South America, any vertebrate roaming around could end up its next meal. Sometimes jaguars take down cattle. These cats, the third biggest after lions and tigers, outsize leopards, but rarely attack humans. When they do, it's usually self-defense. Sure, they could kill a person easily, but unlike leopards, where you hear about man-eaters hunting humans and chowing down on them, jaguars almost never go there. Jaguars also hunt deer. Check out the biggest deer in South America, the marsh deer, locked in this jaguar's sights. The grace, the leaps, the sheer skill of this cat never fail to impress. Doesn't matter if it's a caiman, a capybara, or a deer. They even go after snakes, including anacondas, the heaviest serpents on the planet. But it's only the smaller ones they tackle. The giants, tipping the scales at 400 pounds, can turn the tables and take down a jaguar. Size matters big time in the wild. The biggest prey a jaguar might face off with is the tapir, South America's heaviest animal. It can weigh up to 750 pounds. That's a worthy opponent for sure. But it's not just huge, it's smart too. Grown tapirs don't get caught easily. They're big, strong, and their bulk is pretty much their only weapon. No fangs, no claws, and that goofy trunk isn't doing much against a predator. As you see in this clip, tapirs have lousy eyesight. Still, they need to drink, and that's probably why this one's heading down the slope. The jaguar's camouflage blends perfectly with the scenery, giving it a clear shot at its target. Then the tapir picks up a hint. Danger's close. Fresh jaguar tracks and bad vision get outdone by an awesome sense of smell. It ditches the water ideas and backs off. Turning around, it gives the jaguar a golden chance to strike. 2 bounds, and it could be on the tapir's back. So why'd it let it go? That tapir wouldn't go down easy. Maybe too risky. Or maybe the jaguar was just full. South America, especially the Amazon, is bursting with life like nowhere else on Earth. Jaguars never go hungry here. They thrive in thick jungles, swamps, rivers, and wetlands. There's always something to hunt. Take the giant otter, another tough catch for the jaguar. Not because of their size, but because they roll in packs. These Amazon otters stick together and jump in to help each other out. When they spot a predator, they make a racket like they're yelling, "You won't catch us." And yeah, once they sound the alarm, the hunt's usually a bust. But if the jaguar nails one from an ambush, all the noise in the world won't save it. Jaguars are water champs. They yank out otters and caimans, animals born for the water. No problem. Could it catch a fish? You bet. Fish are definitely on the jaguar's menu. The Amazon's riverlands are packed with all kinds of fish, some pretty massive too. When water levels drop fast, fish get trapped in shallow pools, making them easy pickings. This crazy cat almost seems part fish itself. At least that's the vibe from this footage. It doesn't just swim great, it dives like a pro. It can hold its breath for 30 or 40 seconds, snag meat underwater, bite into it, and even swallow it down there. Jaguars don't stop at fish. They take on turtles too. Sea turtles grow huge and make a solid meal. On beaches where they lay eggs, they're slow and clumsy. The only snag might be their tough shells, but the jaguar's jaws crush right through. Those hard turtle shells might have shaped the jaguar's insane bite strength over time. Back in rough days, like after the Pleistocene die-offs, these armored reptiles could have been a key food source. Jaguars still dig into them today. Jaguars roam the Americas, but their roots trace back to the old world cats. It's no fluke they look so much like leopards from Africa and Asia. The leopard's their closest cousin, sharing a common ancestor from way back on the Eurasian continent. Their family tree split off pretty recently, forming separate species. During ice ages, when sea levels dropped, jaguar ancestors crossed a land bridge, where the Bering Strait is now, moving from North America down to South America's edges. That was likely 1.5 to 2 million years ago. The world was a whole different place then. Back then, the Americas had megafauna, like giant sloths and other massive beasts by today's standards. Did jaguars hunt them? Absolutely. They thrived in that world and owned it. Fossils show those ancient jaguars were about 2 to 2.5 times bigger than today's, while modern ones weigh several dozen. Pleistocene jaguars hit around 400 pounds, matching today's tigers in size. Big prey needs a strong hunter, but it pays off with more food. Nature favored the beefy ones. When the Pleistocene ended and Megafauna died out, that pressure faded. Being huge stopped being an advantage and turned into a burden. So jaguars shrank to their current size. Those ancient roots still fuel the strength and hunting skills of today's jaguars. No wonder they can take down a horse or a croc, considering they tackled way bigger animals thousands of years ago and came out on top. From crushing caiman skulls to hunting deer and turtles, the jaguar proved it's the king of America's wild. You clicked for a predator like no other, and I've shown you just that. Check out another video to see more of raw nature.